From the largest news team on local television, the combined resources of KCOY 12, Central Coast Local News, and KEYT News Channel 3. Your news starts now.
Well, it is election night 2014, and there's already been a big shakeup in Washington. Republicans in, winning a Senate majority, Democrats out. Good evening. I'm Paula Lopez, along with CJ Ward and Scott Hennessy.
And you're watching a simulcast of KCOY 12 and KEYT News Channel 3. Here at home, 2 congressional seats are being contested. We have a team of reporters up and down the coast covering the election live for you. From the hottest political races to the most controversial ballot measures, we have them covered for you. Let's get right to it. Here are the latest numbers for one of the most contested races. It's for the 24th Congressional District. Incumbent Lois Capps against Republican challenger Chris Mitchum. There you see the numbers, 53% for Capps, 47% for Chris Mitchum. And we're going to turn things over now to Tracy Lair, who's live at Santa Barbara's campaign with Chris Mitchum.
I'm here at the Fess Parker Doubletree Resort in the Set Bar, and I'm here with Chris Mitchum, who spoke to his volunteers and told them how proud he was for all the work they did in an underfunded campaign that really did get the vote out. Chris, you were optimistic all night, and I think you're still optimistic.
Absolutely.
For that you got your message out. What do you want to say?
Well, we did deliver the message, and they're still counting the votes. They are less than 50% in SLO. SLO has a 9,000 Republican advantage in registration, so there's still some votes to count. We're going to close this up some. Enough, I don't know, but we did get the message out. I'm just sorry we didn't get a chance to debate, so we could have it televised and people could really understand what's going on and what the differences are between Lois and myself. But that's what happens.
How are you feeling about the night as a whole? Because I saw people cheering at the numbers nationally, especially in the Senate.
Well, the night as a whole, nationwide, I think is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But, this happens in elections. This wave of change that hits the wall in California, and nothing happens here. You look at what's going on to the state of California, and it's the definition of insanity. They keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. They keep raising taxes. More businesses leave, so they raise more taxes, And that just seems to be the nature of California.
Well, we appreciate you sticking it out. I have to let you know he got up at 3 a.m. and you're still going strong, and volunteers are still here. They want to see the numbers change for their side. Reporting live in Santa Barbara, I'm Tracy Lair.
Tracy, thank you. Lois Capps seeking her 9th term in the 24th District. She is in downtown Santa Barbara right now at Soho, and that is where we find our John Palmenteri live tonight for us. John.
Arriving with her family in front of her, and a big cheer from her supporters, ranging from UC Santa Barbara students to some of the longest time supporters of her campaign. Congresswoman Lois Capps has arrived here at the Soho Restaurant and Music Club, and she is in this pack somewhere, and she's going to come forward here to talk to us as she is going for her 9th term in the House of Representatives. Congresswoman Capps, welcome this evening. And earlier this evening, it was tell people were worried. It was a tight race in both the counties.
Absolutely.
What message have you been getting from the voters, and how have you been able to get this lead this evening?
Well, first of all, I have to be surrounded by these folks because this is a team effort, and this is a fabulous team, and I'm so proud of them.
When you spoke earlier, you talked about hopes and dreams. 2 years ago, we spoke. Now we rolled out the Affordable Care Act, and it flopped at the beginning. It's sort of getting itself together. What are you going to do to put things like that together the next 2 years?
I'm not saying there's a miracle cure. Democracy is messy. It's hard, but we're all working together, and we have covered California in our state, and I'm proud of it, but there's so much else to work on. These are supporters of mine and family members of mine, and that is what's behind me, and we're going to do the things that help all of us with meaningful jobs, with taking care of our beautiful environment, with making our young people opportunities for school. There's just a whole a great opportunity now to pull our country together.
You know, this campaign also had a moment where a lot of people said, why wasn't there a debate? Why didn't you debate Chris Mitchum?
We were in public so much, and we got our message out, he got his message out, and that's what it's all about. And the people spoke in the election.
Okay, what are you going to do for the next 2 years for your district?
Well, we have come a long way with the economy.
There's a lot to do up there.
And there
There's
is a lot to
hard
do.
work ahead.
And I look at this central coast of California as a very potent place for the development of clean energy. We are an energy producing area, as you know. We also are a place of pristine beauty with natural resources that we have to take care of. But our most tremendous resource are the people who live here and work here. So the jobs that keep them going, the schools that keep our young people on track, it's a tall order, and it's something we know we can do.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. We know that you have been a champion for education, and as a former nurse, you're very concerned about health care in America.
Thank you.
Thank you. And she's behind with all her family members and supporters, many of the faces you've seen over the years. Congresswoman Lois Capps apparently on her way to a 9th term in the House of Representatives, live here this evening. Reporting live from the Soho Restaurant and Music Club, where the campaign and looks like maybe a victory party is underway this evening. I'm John Parliamentary, News Channel 3.
Okay, John, thank you. We see the numbers there, 53% for Lois Capps. As we bring in our political analyst tonight, Jerry Roberts, a prize-winning journalist, founder of CalBuzz.com, former managing editor of the San Francisco Chronicle, as well as the Santa Barbara News Press. Close race, certainly right there, Jerry.
Well, it was. She seems to be pulling away. There's about a 3-4% advantage for Democrats. She's up about 6. I think it got closer than the Democrats would have liked. You saw her do something which I don't recall Lois Capps ever doing. She put a negative ad on the air, kind of attacking Chris Mitchum, which was not really fair. It took a comment out of context. So that, and I think getting the Get Out the Vote operation really cranked up out in Isla Vista was a big deal to get the student vote.
Are you surprised how well Mitchum did, even though he didn't have much backing by the Republican Party at the beginning?
I kind of am, yeah, given the registration. He had no money. He had, the National Republicans certainly never got behind him. Again, it's a very conservative electorate. The universe of voters is tilted toward Republicans, so, he's got that advantage, but he certainly didn't embarrass himself.
Well, Capps will have quite a challenge going back to Washington with the Senate taking over the majority here.
The Senate and the Republicans are picking up more seats in the House as well, so it's not going to be very fun. And just, real quickly, I think the question a lot of local Democrats are asking themselves tonight, is this going to be her last term?
That's right. Okay, Jerry, thank you. Let's take a look now at Measure P results at Santa Barbara County's fracking ban. Right now, you see the numbers with 70% of the precincts reporting. The no on P took an early lead in the evening with no resoundingly 60% right now to 40% with those, as I said, 70% precincts reporting. And again, lots of money went into defeating Measure P.
And as you can imagine, the opponents of Measure P are celebrating tonight. They argued that placing a ban on the oil industry would cost jobs and hurt the economy. Let's turn things over now to Keith Carls, who is live in Santa Maria with a reaction from the folks who helped defeat Measure P. Keith.
Well, CJ, after the polls closed at 8 o'clock tonight, the initial returns from the Santa Barbara area revealed to the No on P campaign that it was already over, that they had won. Now, basically the strategy of the No on P campaign was to frame this ballot measure as a referendum on the future of all oil and gas production in Santa Barbara County. Those behind Measure P have said all along that it would only apply to future so-called high-intensity extraction methods like cyclic steam injection or even fracking, which, by the way, fracking is not going on anywhere in the county. But tonight, the No on P campaign says its strategy worked and resonated with voters countywide.
This measure has been a real referendum for working people, whether they're union or non-union. This to us has not been about Republican or Democrat or union and not union. What this has been about for us is working people.
A lot of guys from the building trades and gals really saw that this was a really poorly written initiative, and it was an attack on the middle class. And to see them get behind it and to see them stand up and say, hey, we're not going to let you take our jobs.
Now, the No on P campaign had deep pockets with millions of dollars in financial support from the oil and gas industry. Some have called it the most expensive ballot measure campaign in Santa Barbara County history. By comparison, the mainly grassroots Yes on P campaign spent only a few $100,000. Live in Santa Maria tonight, Keith Carls. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, we do have team coverage on this issue, Measure P. Let's turn now to Victoria Sanchez, who is live in Santa Barbara with a reaction from there. Not a good night for the Measure P campaign.
No, Paula, I'm live in downtown Santa Barbara at the Yes on P campaign gathering, and that measure has failed tonight. Joining me now live is Katie Davis. Now, she was one of the lead volunteers for this measure. Katie, tell me what you and your group are feeling like tonight.
Well, you know, obviously this is a hard blow, but you know, it's not unexpected. We had Chevron and Exxon and some of the largest corporations in the world spending $7 million against this initiative. That's the record, the most ever spent against a local measure. And so when you're up against that kind of money and you're outspent 20-1, it's really difficult to get your word out and to get, you know, the truth out about the initiative. So disappointed, but it's understandable. And what you see here and still at this event is this was really a people-powered campaign, and there was so much passion and energy. And really, the story here is what started and the momentum that is coming out of this campaign.
A lot of what I'm hearing is that this was a grassroots campaign. Where do you go from here?
It's you know, what we're hearing in the room is that people are really excited to keep going, that this is really the beginning of something and not the end. So it's premature to say what that would be next and where we'll go from here. But certainly, you know, the message is not that this is over and we're all going to go away and let these oil companies pollute our water and our air and destroy this local environment. We're going to fight for this area. These are locals that care deeply about this area, and we're going to continue the struggle.
All right, thank you so much, Katie Davis, one of the lead volunteers for the Yes on P campaign. I'm live in Santa Barbara, where we are hearing that they will continue to fight. How that goes is yet to be seen. Live in Santa Barbara, I'm Victoria Sanchez.
This issue certainly sparked a lot of debate, Measure P, but right now, resoundingly no on P. 41,000 votes to 27,000 for yes, with 70% of the precincts reporting. As we bring back in our analyst tonight, Jerry Roberts. Jerry, this is a big win for no on P and maybe sets the stage for other areas. This is not the only place that is trying to ban fracking. Other areas have tried it. There are a couple of other ballots that are out in other California cities.
It's really not surprising.
No, well, in San Benito and in Mendocino County, there's also measures, and they're both winning so far, but early votes yet. But yeah, I mean, and it seems to me that the folks who put this out there should not be surprised that the oil companies were going to come in here and spend millions of dollars, because they don't want this to spread from county to county. There was an effort to ban it statewide up in Sacramento that didn't quite make it and may make it the next time. But again,
they made this not about fracking. They made this about losing services and tax dollars and jobs.
That's an excellent.
Do you think there was a lot of misinformation that was going out about Measure P, or a lot of misunderstanding?
It was the information that they wanted to get out. Every campaign is about, you know, what is the election about? And the no side said the election is about jobs and about trying to stop things that we're doing now. The yes campaign said, well, it's kind of about water and it's kind of about fracking, but they really never had a strong positive message.
You know what I thought was really interesting about the no on P was that they had a lot of the young people involved. It was social media. They had, out at UCSB, it was no on P. I found that very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting, and you can do a lot with $6 or $7 million in a campaign.
And I think if we look at the votes tomorrow, we're going to see that there is a bifurcation between North Santa Barbara County and Southern Santa Barbara County.
Probably some of that, but 60-40 is pretty resounding.
All right, Jerry, thank you so much.
Let's take a look at the numbers in the gubernatorial race here. Jerry Brown has won a fourth term, defeating Republican challenger Neil Kashkari. This race was declared right after the polls closed in California, shortly after 8 p.m. You see Kashkari earlier today going to cast his ballot in Orange County, but he comes up very short. He had a long road to hoe there against the incumbent Jerry Brown.
And Kashkari earlier tonight made his concession speech.
My commitment to you is that, as I did in this campaign, I will continue to do everything I possibly can to help take our state forward and to help take our party forward. And I want you to know this: I'm just getting warmed up.
In Kashkari cast his ballot in Laguna Beach. Governor Jerry Brown did his voting early. The governor cast his ballot last Thursday at the Alameda County Voter Registrar's Office in Oakland.
Okay, let's switch over now to the state propositions. Here are the results of Prop 1, the state water bonds. You can see there passed resoundingly, 67% to 33%. Governor Brown really fought hard for both Props 1 and 2. Let's take a look now at Prop 2, the state reserve funds. This proposed constitutional amendment was placed on the ballot by the governor and the legislature, and under the measure, the state officials would set aside at least 1.5% of the general fund each year to save money and repay debt.
Okay, let's take a look now at Proposition 45. This is the health insurance rate changes prop. It would give the state's elected insurance commissioner power to approve or deny proposed health insurance rates for individual and small group policies, covering about 6 million Californians. This one's voters saying no to this one with 60% to the yeses 40%. And if Proposition 47 passes, the penalties for some common crimes would be reduced from potential felonies to misdemeanors, shortening the time some individuals spend behind bars. Voters saying yes in a loud voice to this, 58%, to the noes, 42%. And moving on to a quick look at Proposition 48, which would preserve the two gambling compacts between the state of California and Native American tribes. These tribes include the North Fork Rancheria of Mono Indians near Yosemite and the Wyout tribe near Humboldt Bay. The agreements authorize a casino in Madera County with up to 2,000 slot machines. And they also prevent the Wyout tribe from building a casino on its Humboldt County land. Voters saying no to this one, 59% to 41%.
And going back to Governor Brown winning his record fourth term as governor, we bring back in Jerry Roberts. What can we expect from the governor in his fourth term?
Well, I think certainly we're going to hear a lot about the high-speed rail project. We're probably going to hear more about the big Delta conveyance to bring more water south. And I think kind of an issue that didn't get much coverage at all, but in terms of reforming the state's tax system, capital gains is something that the state is very dependent on, but as you know, it's a boom and bust kind of thing. Trying to even that out and maybe adjust some of those rates elsewhere. And I think, continuing to work on the budget and try to stabilize state finances.
Now, you think the bullet train, do you think this is going to end up ending up in court? Do you think this is going to be a big fight going on to the next term?
Oh, I definitely think it'll be in court. Everything's more work for lawyers in terms of all of this stuff. But, it's something that he's really committed to, and I think this is his last shot. He wants to have some lasting thing, and he's been talking about bullet train since 1974. Any doubt that he's committed to it should be erased.
Jerry, thank you. And we'll be right back with more election coverage right after this.
News Channel 3, Thursday. The Isla Vista tragedy was a game changer for local law enforcement.
Shot fired, shot fired. Response for multiple gunshot. We all looked at each other like, we've really never thought about how to immobilize an active shooter.
Our first responders changing response tactics and adding new tools to their arsenal to get to the injured faster, even when the situation may still be unfolding.
We need to get these ambulances in here searching these patients.
John Palminteri takes you to the front lines of defense. Thursday on News Channel 3 at 6 and 11.
The wait is over. Introducing Charter Spectrum. The very best in TV, internet, and voice has arrived. It's superior HD picture and sound with more than 200 HD channels available, more than anyone else. And with the new Charter app, you can watch live TV on mobile devices anywhere in your home. Watch TV anytime for just $29.99 a month. Call 866-960-1707. Charter Spectrum turns your internet on full blast with speeds up to 60 megabits per second. That's 20 times faster than DSL. Just $29.99 a month. It's the fastest internet you can get. And Charter Spectrum Voice gives you unlimited nationwide calling. Just $29.99 a month with no added fees like the phone company charges. The most HD, the fastest internet, and unlimited calling, all for just $29.99 a month each. The wait is over. Get Charter Spectrum today. Call 866-960-1707.
continues with Kimmel's Cross Country CMA Bash with Faith Hill, Tim McGraw, Brad Paisley, Florida Georgia Line, and more.
I'm going to be in Nashville and Hollywood simultaneously via hologram.
New Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight on ABC.
Here's a look at the results so far for the San Luis Obispo City Council. City Council candidates Blake and Guthrie, both members of Save Price Canyon, a group formed to protect and preserve the scenic area east of the city. Blake also ran for council in 2012. We see Carolyn Christensen, 32% of the vote with 100% reporting. So she earns a seat on the city council, as does Dan Riverwar, 27%. So those are your two elected council members in San Luis Obispo. The battle for the 4th district seat on the Board of Supervisors in San Luis Obispo was one of the most anticipated and watched races in that county. Dave Alley has been covering the campaign. He is in Arroyo Grande now with the live report for us. Dave.
Yeah, this race right here was not only watched locally, very widely all across the county, but also nationally as well. This drew a lot of attention. Hotly contested this race going back a year. It was between incumbent Karen Ray and challenger Lynn Compton. And right now we are live at the Compton headquarters in Arroyo Grande. It's a very celebratory mood, as you could tell, and that's because, let me give you the latest numbers here, 86.5% 86.5% reporting. Lynn Compton has about 54%, Karen Ray about 46%. That's an 8% advantage. And right now we do have Lynn Compton live with me. Come on in here, Lynn. Tell me right now, with about an 8% percentage lead, with about 87% in, how are the feelings?
We feel good about that, and it wouldn't have been possible without all these people back here, so I really owe them a debt of gratitude and the voters.
And we spoke about an hour or so ago. You said you were cautiously optimistic, now a little bit more optimistic?
I feel a little bit better now.
If this were to hold, if this lead were to hold and you've been leading all night, what would you credit your victory to?
The people. I mean, our message resonated with the people and the hardworking volunteers that have worked tirelessly for the last year for me. I mean, without both of those groups, I wouldn't be here.
And it has been over a year. Lynn Compton here has announced her candidacy last October 2013, so it's been a long campaign for her. Now, we did speak with Karen Ray a couple of hours ago about her campaign, and here's what she had to say.
All right, thank you for that report, Dave. We're moving on now to the results from the Lompoc mayoral race. The incumbent John Lynn, first elected as mayor in 2008. Back then he got more than half the votes. His challenger Bob Lingle, a city councilman, also first elected in 2008. And Lingle, with 13% of the precincts reporting, is quite a ways out in front, 61% of the vote. He has 2,098 votes to 1,321 for John Lynn.
And let's have a look at Measure T results. It's a bond measure for the Santa Maria Bonita School Districts. Voters there were asked to approve a $45 million bond to improve the schools, and there you can see the numbers at this point. Now, in the last 5 years, enrollment in Santa Maria schools has grown by 2,300 students. Juanita Adame joins us live from Santa Maria with more on Measure T. Juanita.
That's right. Now, as we mentioned earlier, this general obligation bond will not only allow the district to build a new campus, but it's going to allow for the district to it contains enough money to allow to modernize 19 of its schools. Now, new classrooms are among the top list of the most needed things for the district's older campuses. The district claims that relieving the class size is one of the key reasons that they went to the public for help. Now, numbers for Measure T have slowly climbed, with 8 precincts reporting there is a 59% in favor vote so far. Supporters are hopeful that the numbers continue in favor. The measure that they say will greatly improve the quality of the various schools. The opposition, on the other hand, say they are considering this as a loss, and if this is what the people of Santa Maria want, then the people of Santa Maria have spoken.
When you have the school system as old as some of our schools are, it's just a matter of maintenance. You know, you have to do it just like you would in your home or any other structure.
Now, the supporters will continue to count this as a victory. Live in the Santa Maria newsroom, Juanita Adame, back to you.
All right, Juanita, thank you. There are the numbers for Measure T. 59% of the voters saying yes to 41% saying no. Let's move on now to the results for Santa Maria City Council. There are only 2 seats available, but 5 people were running, 2 of them incumbents, and we interviewed each of them here on KCOY 12 News at 5 leading up to the election. Corey James is live in Santa Maria tonight, where it looks like Etta Waterfield is having a good night.
Here, Paul, as you can see, we're live at the Etta Waterfield headquarters. Her supporters who have been helping their Lonely campaign. Very, very excited crowds now. Right here is Etta Waterfield. Etta, you had a very great campaign. You're leading the city council right now. How are you feeling?
I feel fantastic. But you know what? I feel fantastic because of everybody behind me. I mean, it's just been such a great, humbling experience, and my team has just been phenomenal. And I've got so many members to thank. And I know the numbers haven't all come in yet, but if I get an opportunity to thank somebody, which I'm going to do right now, would be my committee, my fundraising committee. They've been awesome. Teresa Menchaca has been the ground game person that has just brought us through this whole thing. But my anchor in all of this has been my husband, Buck. He has just been... He's been there with me through thick and thin, and I feel just so grateful.
And in 2012, you were just 2 votes shy of the seat.
Yes.
What did you guys do differently this year, and what would you like to say to those voters who went out and supported you guys this year?
You know, I want to say to all the voters, thank you so much. Thank you so very, very much. It's because of you voters that I'm here and that I can celebrate at the moment, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your trust and belief in me, and I truly am blessed by all of this.
And right now the polls are closed, but the votes are still coming in. They're being counted, so we, of course, will keep you posted right here. Reporting live in Santa Maria, Corey James, back to you.
All right, Corey, thank you. And it looks like Etta will be joining Jack Boyson to fill those 2 open seats on the Santa Maria City Council. Willie Green will not be returning to his place on that panel. And we should also remind viewers that Etta last time lost by only 2 votes.
Yes.
So perseverance pays off for her.
It's a sweet celebration right now for Etta Waterfield, with 21% of the precincts reporting, but she has a comfortable lead at this point. We're back with more election coverage right after this.
A special election day coverage starts right here Wednesday morning.
The polls have closed. We're going to tell you who won and if the numbers are still being counted.
And talk about a warm-up right here starting at 5.
Rebath is the bathroom remodeling leader in converting old bathrooms to safe, convenient, and easy to clean ones. Whether it's a tub to shower conversion or walk-in bathtub, even a shower with built-in seating, we make bathrooms safer for all ages. Our amazing state-of-the-art products are easy to clean and feature the best guarantees in the business, plus flexible financing options and factory-trained installers. Call today for a free in-home consultation or visit rebath.com.
Introducing the new Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs like the Italian BMT and tender turkey breast with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips for just $6 every day. It's value made simple. Subway.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up, hey. Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house.
Buy now and save up to $500 on a Tempur-Pedic Premier Adjustable Set. Plus, with 48 months no-interest financing, Tempur-Pedic queen-size sets start at just $39 per month. Sit and sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free!
Matt LaPointe, Technical Director for Deployable Space Systems in Santa Barbara, California. Every day we're dealing with massive file transfers, and Cox Business gives us a reliable, high-speed internet connection to transfer those files without any delays or issues. Having Cox Business run an internet service simplifies things and allows me to go about my business and not have to worry about going to multiple people when there's problems. We know we have a partner with Cox Business that cares about how we're growing as a company.
The First Alert Weather Team.
I have covered the extremes from across the country, from wildfires to droughts, from tropical storms to tornadoes. So having all that experience and being part of the largest local weather team, I feel like we can make a difference in the lives of people in our community, and they know who to turn to when they need us most.
Meteorologist Meredith Garfalo, part of the Power of Three, the largest weather team on local television. News Channel 3 is First Alert Weather.
On the morning of the CMA Awards, Tim Tebow is right there in Nashville with exclusive access behind the scenes of it all as GMA goes CMA with Keith Urban and Miranda Lambert, plus Anne Hathaway live tomorrow on ABC's Good Morning America.
Closed captioning brought to you by Coastal Copy. We make your business work.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the results for Measure S. That's the Santa Barbara City College bond measure. This one needed a 55% voter approval for the sale of $288 million in bonds. The money would be used for upgrades to classrooms, labs, leaky roofs, aging buildings. But opponents say the community college is no longer serving the community because of the number of out-of-area students being served.
The college right now is doing more harm to our city than good. Local kids are having trouble getting into the college. They're trouble getting the courses that they want in a timely fashion, competing against thousands of people that don't even live here. And on top of that, this Measure S would have local taxpayers pay for these thousands and thousands of outsiders.
I know that this community understands that public education is a common good. Public education serves the socioeconomic fabric of not only our community, but of our state and our nation.
Measure S would be paid back with an increase in property taxes. That tax would be based on assessed property value, not market value. Property owners would pay $16.35 per $100,000. And this one was a tough one. Voters didn't like that one.
No. And let's take a look at the numbers in the 26th congressional race in Ventura County. This has been an interesting one. Look at those numbers. 50% to 50% with 51% of the votes recorded in this case. And here are the latest numbers for you. Let's go to Kelsey Gerkins. I know we had some problems in the Ventura County Elections website. It was down for hours. At this point, I still don't know if it's been fixed yet. But let's bring in reporter Kelsey Gerkins, who is live in Ventura. And Kelsey, you had reaction from Jeff Gorell, and I know you tried to talk with Julia Brownlee.
CJ, I made stops at both Jeff Gorell and Julia Brownlee's campaign parties, but the candidates weren't there yet. They were awaiting for those results to come down. But as you just mentioned, Ventura County's election website had a major problem. We were expecting the results to first start coming down at around 8 p.m. and the candidates would arrive around 8:15, but the results didn't start coming down until 10 p.m. And right now, the race is too close to call, with only a couple hundred votes separating Brownlee from Gorell. Democrat Julia Brownlee is hoping to keep her seat. Brownlee currently represents the 26th Congressional District, which covers a good portion of Ventura County. Previously, Ventura County was part of another district, represented for 26 years by Republican Elton Galgley, who didn't run in 2013. Which is when Brownlee beat her Republican opponent in a very tight race. Now, this year's race, again, is really tight. Brownlee is facing off against Republican Assemblyman and an Afghan war veteran. The Democrats want to keep this seat. Just last week, former President Bill Clinton came to town to show his support for Brownlee. But as we can see from the preliminary election results, this is a toss-up race, and we might not even have the final outcome of this race for days. And here's how Republican candidate Jeff Gorell is feeling about the race at this time.
And we see national trends that are very positive for Republicans. I think I ran a positive campaign, and it's a little bit of an experiment to see if somebody who's running a positive campaign can actually win. All of the stuff that we've sent out has been, about the issues, about my background and my ideas, and we're going to see if that wins tonight.
And at this hour, we are still waiting to find out who will take the 26th congressional seat. I reached out to Brownlee's campaign several times throughout today. I even attended her party after Gorell's, but she had yet to arrive, and her campaign team did not want to make a statement at that time. That was around 9:40 this evening. She was not here. And back here at the Ventura County Courthouse below me, they are counting all the votes. There are several observers sitting there waiting. And again, talking about that mess up they had with their website, they said the company that designed their website, it was happening all across the country with election results. But the website is working right now, and it's a very close race, so we'll continue to keep you updated. Reporting live In Ventura, Kelsey Gerkins, News Channel 3 and KCOY 12 Central Coast News.
All right, I hope they have a lot of coffee down there tonight.
Yeah, close race. It will be a while. We'll be back with more election coverage in a moment.
If a new business is coming to town or another is going out of business, if it's going to cost you more or could save you money, you need to know about it. That's why News Channel 3 brings you Key to Your Finances every Wednesday at 6, brought to you by Community West Bank. Let's work together.
Introducing the all-new 2015 Subaru Outback, built to take you to the place you've never been. With road-gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive and X mode. At 33 miles per gallon, it's the most fuel-efficient midsize crossover in America. And it's built for the long run.
Visit Kirby Subaru, now located in the Ventura Auto Center during their grand opening celebration, or visit Kirby Subaru online. Kirby Subaru, 101 Freeway, Ventura.
We are in a serious drought, so it's time to get water-wise. Did you know that in Santa Barbara County, 60% of residential water use is used in gardens, and half that is wasted through overwatering and runoff? Take a day off from watering your landscape and only water your thirstiest plants, such as your lawn, no more than 2 days a week. Gold is the new green in Santa Barbara County. Your water provider is here to help. Visit waterwisesb.org for more information.
Friday, from the Power of 3, the largest sports team on local television. From gridirons up and down the coast. No one covers more games. No one covers more ground than Mike Clamp, Joe Butita, and Friday Football Focus. 11:15 Friday on News Channel 3.
Brought to you by Gold Coast Toyota.
When news breaks, the largest news gathering team on local television gets you there. Live. No matter where, no matter when.
That was a flashbang. We're getting shot at right now.
News Channel 3, where the news comes first.
Hi, George Thompson here. Since 1977, America's most trusted name for diamonds.
We love driving to George Thompson. We got half the amount of diamonds at Costco for the same price at George Thompson.
I tell my boy to go to George Thompson's because you're going to get the best value, and you'll definitely find something at George Thompson that your wife will love.
If you're thinking about buying on the internet, I think you should go to George Thompson and make sure that what you're getting actually appeals to your eye.
Right off 101 in Las Posas in Camarillo.
News Channel 3, brought to you by Covered California. Quality health plans within your reach.
Good Tuesday evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Jason Stiff with your election 2014 forecast. It was a nice day today. We had 70s all up and down the Central Coast, well above average, but we are not done with this above average weather. Currently, cooling off quickly. It's 54 right now in Paso Robles, 55 in Santa Maria, and 59 degrees in Santa Barbara. All the wind around the Central and South Coast, less than 10 miles an hour right now. Very clear, not a cloud to be seen. We do have a ridge of high pressure that is building over much of the eastern Pacific and the California coast right now, which means warmer weather. All the wet weather as well to our north and to our east. So with this ridge of high pressure in control, we expect more sunshine for the coming days. It's going to be a long time before we see the wet weather yet again. We would like to have it. It's just not in the forecast. Here is your forecast for tonight and tomorrow. Expecting a low tonight of 50 in Santa Barbara and a high tomorrow of 80 with a lot of sunshine for everyone. For parts of the Central Coast, we'll have lows in the upper 40s and lower 50s. Cooler further inland in the upper 30s for Santa Ynez with a high of 87. 83 for a high in Santa Maria tomorrow afternoon after a relatively cool, seasonably cool low. Areas to the north, we have 40s and 50s for lows, highs in the upper 70s and lower to mid 80s. 85 for a high in San Luis Obispo. And in Ventura County, we'll have some gusty Santa Ana wind at times tonight and again tomorrow afternoon. Overnight lows in the 50s and highs mainly in the 80s. Here is your 7-day forecast, Santa Maria. Look at all this sunshine. Lower to mid 80s all the way through Sunday. We do expect increasing clouds when that ridge of high pressure breaks down overhead, and the highs by a week from today will return to the lower 70s, which is where we're supposed to be this time of year. Santa Barbara, lower 80s tomorrow through Saturday, 70s after that with more clouds by a week from today. San Luis Obispo, look at this. Doesn't look like November at all. Mid to upper 80s for highs through Saturday. Cooling cooling to the lower 70s by next Tuesday. And for the 5 cities, upper 70s and lower 80s through Thursday, and then more seasonal, upper 60s and lower 70s after that. Let's look at your weather on this election night. We'll be back with more election results after this.
We finally found our house, and we really love it. But when we moved in, everything dripped and dripped and dripped. I asked the neighbor for a referral, and he said, call Mr. Reuter Plumbing. So I did. Oh, they were courteous, professional, nice, and neat. Did a great job. I can see why people refer Mr. Reuter. Now it's my turn. Call Mr. Reuter.
Proudly serving the Ventura and Santa Barbara areas.
Looking for one of these?
Yoplait, smooth, creamy, and craved by the whole family.
Welcome back. The big news nationally, the Republicans took control of the Senate. They needed to take 6 seats from the Democrats, and they easily did that today and much more.
Let's bring in now Jerry Roberts, who's been with us throughout the evening. Not only the House, but they won some key gubernatorial races. Wisconsin governor hanging on to his seat as well. Big changes coming for the country.
Yeah, big wave election that stopped again at the Sierra. Didn't really get into California. But here's the thing about the Senate. You now have our 2 senators, Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein. Years of seniority, big committee chairmanship. They're going to lose those. So the question is, now we have a climate science denier who's going to be head of that committee instead of Barbara Boxer. So there's going to be a lot of changes in terms of California and energy, water policy in particular. The other thing is Boxer's 74, Feinstein's 81.
They won't be running again.
You got to wonder if they're going to go for another term.
It'll be interesting to see, with Republicans in control of the House and the Senate, what they're able to push through and pass to the president and see if he can get him to sign some things.
Well, that's, there was an aide to the president quoted anonymously in the New York Times the other day, said we're going to go from 96% gridlock to 100% gridlock.
What do you
well,
do?
when you think about it, the Republicans didn't get enough to override any kind of filibuster or presidential veto, and yet there's going to be, it would seem, some sort of discourse between the Republicans themselves. The Tea Party.
Very much so.
Right.
Very much. So that's an excellent point. There's 3 parties in Congress, the Republicans, the Democrats, and the Tea Party.
All right, thanks, Jerry.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Let's take a look at the race in Arroyo Grande for mayor. This is an interesting one here because there's been so much discord right now in Arroyo Grande with the scandal, the sex scandal going on there. We've got Tony Ferrara with 55% of the vote. He was supposed to be on the ballot by himself, Scott.
Yes, but write-in candidate surfaced, Jim Hill, and the write-in candidate has 45% of the vote, but it looks like with 92% reporting that Tony Ferrara will hold on to that mayoral seat, 55% of the vote at this point.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The team at News Channel 3 already helps you start your day with news and weather updates. Now, we help you get to your destination quickly and safely, too. With live, real-time traffic updates powered by Waze, we show you where the traffic is flowing smoothly, the hazards, and what routes to avoid.
And you can get involved. Go to KEYT.com and download the Waze app and start sending us updates from your commute.
News Channel 3, your first stop for news, weather, and traffic updates in the morning.
Tell me more about the Charter Spectrum Triple Play.
You mean the best TV, internet, and voice?
Charter Spectrum Triple Play.
TV.
200 free in Sweet HD, 10,000 on demand. Instantly. I'm not just the operator. Dish to dish, I'm your liberator.
Charter Spectrum TV, just $29.99. Call
1-844-552-999.
Charter Spectrum high speed means no slow down. 60 megs, I like the way that sounds.
Say goodbye to DSL. Say hello to fast just as
Charter Spectrum Internet, just $29.99. Call
1-844-552-9999. Charter Spectrum Voice Unlimited Talk.
Zero fees and features that rock.
Crystal clear connection, say hi.
Charter Raiders, standing by. Charter Spectrum Voice, just $29.99. Call
1-844-552-9999.
Yeah.
1-844-552-9999.
It's Sit and Sleep's Veterans Day sale, where we're proudly saluting our veterans by donating over 290 Tempur-Pedic mattresses to veteran shelters. And to say thanks to our loyal customers this Veterans Day, take 50% off your choice of Simmons, Sealy, and Serta. Normally $19.99, now just $9.99. Plus 0% financing for 2 full years. That's 730 nights of interest-free financing. Happy Veterans Day to every veteran and their family. Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free!
Certainly been an exciting election 2014.
It has.
Some close races in tonight's midterm. Not all of them have been decided, no doubt about that. You can continue to follow the results online on our websites, kcoy.com and keyt.com.
And we'd like to thank our analyst for joining us this evening, Jerry Roberts, always in providing insight and perspective for us. Thank you.
And don't forget, you can also get the latest, since we have some very close races at this point, you can tune in tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. for the morning show, and they'll have an updated information for you.
Just hours from now.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
We're going to leave you with the latest numbers in tonight's midterm elections.
We now join our program, already in progress.
the force. You do? You?